Yo, what is up? So in this tutorial, we're gonna go ahead and set up a bit of a locker system. So in like a lot of horror games, you can like hide in the locker. So we're gonna do something like that. So you interact with it, you get in the locker, it closes, you can look around, and you can get back out of the locker and run around. So yeah, let's hop into it. Alright, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in the locker model. So go to the first person folder, go to models. I'm gonna make a new folder in here called locker. I'm gonna open this guy up and I'm gonna bring in the locker. If you want the model, I'm gonna leave a link in the description where you can grab it. So let me just pull, I'm gonna go ahead and pull everything in right here. Cool. So I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna make a new folder called textures, and I'm gonna throw the textures inside of there. And I'm just gonna pull the locker out right here. Cool. So now I'm going to go into the textures and we're going to go ahead and edit these. So I'm going to make this guy 1024. We're going to set the compression to masks. Save. Close that. Open this guy up. This one should be fine. I'm going to open the MSE. I'm going to set this to 1024. I'm going to set this to be masks. Save that. Close it. And the normal here, there's not a lot going on, so I'm gonna set this way down to like 512. Take up less resources. Alright, so let's make a material. So go to the first person folder, materials. I'm gonna throw this guy in our material instances. Save that. And on our master here, I'm going to right click, create material instance. I'm going to call this MI underscore, whoops. MI underscore locker. And we're going to pull this guy into the locker folder. Move that there. I'm just gonna throw this on. It says we have 2 materials, but we really only need 1. But I'm just gonna throw this material on both of these right here. Then I'm gonna open this guy up, and we're gonna go down and we're gonna tick use ARH, and we're gonna tick use MSE, and I'm gonna tick all the maps here, and I'm gonna find let me just go back there. Locker, textures, and I'm just gonna pull these textures in. So base color, normal, ARH, and MSE. And this guy is metallic, so I'm gonna go down to metallic intensity and set this to 1. And now it's all metallic. Cool. So now we need to combine the parts that we need combined. So we need everything except the door to be one piece. I'm just going to browse the asset here. I'm just going to click on this guy. I'm going to click on the bottom piece here. And the back piece here. Click on the back piece. And I believe that's it. The rest of it's all going to be a part of the door. So I'm going to go up here to actor. Merge actor settings, replace source actors. I'm gonna go down to first person, models, locker, and I'm gonna set this, I'm gonna name it to locker base. Oh, whoops, locker base. And I'm gonna click on all the doors here, and we gotta click on each one of these little flap things. And I'm gonna move it to make sure we have it all. Looks like we do. Don't forget the hinges down here at the end. There's 3 of them. grab those as well. And looks like we're good. So I'm going to go up here to actor, merge actors, merge actor settings, merge actor. If you've already merged actors, it'll keep whatever you set this on, the replace source actors. So it'll just keep whatever you had it on before. I'm going to go down to first person models, locker, and I'm going to name this one locker door. There we go. And I'm just going to click on these and enable nanite on the door as well. Enable nanite, apply, save. And now we can go ahead and start getting our blueprint set up for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to first person blueprints. We're going to go into items. So we're not actually going to use anything from our base item or like our door blueprint. We're actually going to make a new blueprint because we're actually going to make it a pawn so that we can easily control it. You know, where, you know, how you're looking around inside of it. So we're going to make this a pawn class. So we're going to right click blueprint class. And we're going to create pawn, and if you see here, a pawn is an actor that can be possessed and receive input from a controller. So that's why we're going to make this a pawn. So we're going to call this BP underscore locker. And I'm just going to open this guy up. We are going to take a lot of what we have from the other blueprints though. So down here in variable, I'm going to make a variable called item name, and this will be a data table row handle. Compile, save. I'm going to set the default of that to DT item info, and we're going to make another variable called item info, and this one is going to be our item info struct. Compile, save, and on our construction script, I'm just going to steal everything we have from base item. So I'm just going to copy construction script from here. I'm just going to copy all of this and then come in here and paste it in. And we don't have item, so we need to make item. So let's get a static mesh. We're going to name this item, compile, save. Cool. And let's see. We also need to add in our interface, so go to class settings, implemented interfaces, and we're going to look for interact. So BPI interact, we're going to add that guy in. And we're going to grab our look input from our first person character. So go to your first person blueprint, first person character. I don't know why it keeps setting my thing down here. But let's see, camera input right here. We're just going to copy this. And then go back to, we don't need base item anymore, that can go away. And we're just going to paste our camera input right here. And we're going to come up here, I'm going to delete both of these right here. And on begin play, we're going to cast to first person, cast the BP first person character. And we're going to get player character. And we're going to promote this guy to a variable called player ref. And I'm going to compile and save that. And cool, so we should be able to start, well, let's add a few more things actually. So let's add another static mesh, and this is going to be our base. Or actually, we're going to make this, let's rename this to door. I forget what I named it. Let me look at my my references. Okay, yeah, I just named it door. Okay. And we're gonna add a, click on the top part, we're gonna add a scene component. And this is gonna be our hinge. We're gonna add the door to our hinge. And for the static mesh for the door over here, I'm just gonna look for a locker door and add our locker door. Like so. And let's see, I think we want this guy about right there. So if we rotate our hinge, it rotates, but it looks like we also want the door to come back about right there. So if we rotate, cool. So compile and save, and I believe that's all I had up there. Camera, oh yeah, we need a camera. So we're gonna add a camera. Add this guy. And this camera we're just gonna set kind of where it should be for now, but it's just gonna be aimed to looking out of the you know, the little holes in the door here. We'll tweak that more here in a bit. We also need, so for item, that's what we're gonna set our base of the locker and our data table. So in here in data table, we're gonna add a row. We're gonna F2 rename this to a locker base, and item class is gonna be BP. Right. This is gonna be. Can we just set this guy? We might not even need the item info and stuff. Yeah, we'll just keep it a little more simple and just. We don't really need the item info and stuff for this. It'll be okay. If you want to do it that way, you can, but I'm not going to do it that way. We'll just pull this guy in, and I'm going to rename this to locker base. And I'm going to copy the location of our door here and paste it right there so it all lines up properly. So if we rotate, it looks right. And something else we need is we're gonna add another scene component. And we're gonna use this to place where the player should go when they get in and out of the locker. So for now, I'm just gonna kind of move it right there. I forget where I had it in here, but I think I had it a little bit up, but we'll see how it plays out once we get to that point. So this scene component, I'm gonna name player location. So yeah, when we go, when we get in the locker, we're just gonna, you know, blend to this camera, and then we're gonna possess it, and then when we leave, we're gonna blend to this location, and then we'll possess our player, and then, you know, you can run and take off and stuff. So let's see. So we should be able to implement our interact now. I believe that's all we need. So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. And yeah. So we're gonna go here to interact. I'm gonna pull this guy down. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna copy a lot of the stuff from the items, environmental, doors, hinge doors. I'm gonna copy everything from the hinge door. So all of this, I'm gonna copy this guy because we're gonna need a lot of this. So no reason to do it over. I'm just gonna paste this guy in. Remove our interact right here. Delete this guy. I don't think we need the switch. We don't need the use dot stuff. Yeah. So we can get rid of all of this dot stuff that we had. We don't need it. Use dot we can get rid of. The switch we can get rid of. And we're just going to go down here. And I don't think I used the door open as well. Sequence. Okay. Yeah, so we can get rid of this guy as well. And we're just going to plug straight into this do once that we have already over here. And then this guy right here, we don't need at all. And I'm just going to move this guy over. And we can create... I guess the main thing we really need to keep is the timeline, but we'll just keep one of these timelines here. Guess we didn't really need everything. Alright, so we'll keep this guy, but this is going to be our rotation, so we don't need that plugged in first. We're going to rotate afterwards. Alright, so what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do once, we're gonna play sound. The sound I'm gonna play here, let's go ahead and change. I'm gonna look for metal door. I'll grab this guy. And we're gonna set movement mode, so let's grab our player ref, and we're gonna set movement mode. And we're going to set that guy to none. And once we set it to none, we're going to make a new boolean in our player character called disable camera. So let's go into first person blueprints, first person character, and we're gonna make a new variable here called disable camera. We're gonna leave that a boolean. So all we're gonna do for this is we're just gonna, on our camera input, I'm just gonna move this guy back, and I'm gonna add a branch here, and we're just gonna check if disable camera is true or false. We'll plug this into the triggered. And we only want to move this if camera disable is false. I'm just gonna move, try and clean this up. So we can just compile and save that. So we're gonna go back to our locker here. We're gonna grab our player ref, and we're gonna set camera disable. Set camera disable camera. We're gonna set that to true. Cool. And then we're going to grab a sequence node. So press S on your keyboard. Pull this guy. And I'm pretty sure this is where we go into our timeline. So let me just pull up my next reference. So right here, first thing we're going to do is we're going to rotate the door to open. So we're going to pull this play from start into the 0 of the sequence, and this rotation should be fine as is. We're gonna grab our hinge, we're gonna set rotation, set relative rotation. So set rotation, set relative rotation. We're gonna split struct, plug this into the update. And we're doing the Z, right? Yeah. So we're going to pull this guy. We're going to plug this guy into the Z. And we're going to go ahead and check how that's looking. We can delete the locker that's just in here. Go to first person blueprints items. We're going to pull in our locker. And let's just check how that's rotating. Yep. Okay. So it's rotating fine. Cool. So now, that's good. So next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set our view target with blend. So we're gonna, you know, blend to the camera that is inside of the locker, which, while I'm thinking about it, it is not in a good spot. So let's tweak that real quick. So let's go to viewport, camera, and I'm just gonna tweak this till we get it kind of at a good position, kind of like you're looking out here. You know, you can see enemies and stuff. I'm gonna angle it. I get it. I think about right there is good. Cool. So let's go back to the event graph, and on our next sequence here, I'm just gonna add a delay here, and we're gonna delay this guy for half a second. So 0.5. Because we want to wait for the door to open, and if you open this timeline, the length of this is 1. But if we set it to 0.5 and it blends, we're gonna set our blend time to 1. It turned out okay. So we're gonna right click, we're gonna get player controller. We're gonna set view target with blend. And we're gonna plug this guy in. We're gonna set the blend time to 1. New view target is gonna be our camera. Or actually, no, not camera. It's gonna be self. Cool. And we're also going to delay again, so we could just duplicate this delay right here. We're going to delay for 1 second this time. And then we're going to do some other stuff. So get rid of this guy. And alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our player ref, and we're going to set its location. So we're going to set location, set actor location, and we're going to set it to be our player location. So we're going to get player location, and we're going to get world location. So pull our player location right here, and we're going to get world location. And we're just going to plug this into the new location. Plug this guy in right here. Like that. And then we're going to do another delay of 0.5. So grab a delay. We're going to set this to 0.5. Plug this guy in. And then we're going to possess. We're going to, what do we do that off of? Get player controller. So let me just duplicate this get player controller. We're gonna possess. And end pawn is gonna be self. And we should be able to go ahead and test this real quick and see how it's going. So right here, I did set the camera disable to true, but we don't need that because we're already doing that up here. So we're not going to do that part. But we can go ahead and test this because I think we're going to have to rotate this whole thing because of the way possession works. But let's just see. We do that. We enter. We're inside. And okay. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Let's debug real quick, because I should have been able to delay possess. Okay, so what we need to do is on our camera here, we don't have the same settings that we have on our first-person character. If you click on our first-person camera, you can see we have use pawn control rotation. So we're gonna set that guy, use pawn control rotation, and I believe that's all we need to set there. So let me just try that again. So if we interact and we come up and Now we can control it, but if you saw there, it did snap. So if you come up and interact, it'll snap you to the left side. So we're gonna rotate our whole entire everything inside of our locker, so it doesn't do that. So I'm gonna grab the locker base. It's gonna rotate this 90 degrees that way. The door, or the hinge actually, we're gonna rotate 90 degrees that way. And I'm gonna just move the guy over. Try to get it over here. And we'll just tweak our camera position real quick. And here I'm gonna rotate this guy back. But I'm just gonna tweak where the camera is. Rotate it 90 degrees this way. And I'll tweak where it's looking. It's a little off in there. So about right. And I think right in there looks pretty good. So compile, save, and let's check that that is okay. So if we interact, that did not open that time. Or it's opening the wrong way. So let's see. Let's fix that guy. So our hinge. Alright, so for our locations and stuff, I'm just gonna copy what I had from my original. So on the locker base, right here, I had -30 on the location, which is what we have here. I had 30 on the Y, which is not what we have here. We'll set that to 30. And we had -15 on the Z. Sure, set this guy to -15. And on the hinge here, 0, 0, and -90. 0, 0, we'll set this guy to -90. And oh, never mind. That was on our not on our hinge. Reset that. That was on our door. So on our base. So -90 on the Z. We'll set that guy like that. And cool, that should be good. Alright, so now on our hinge, everything is 0. So let's make sure. So everything is for us, which it is. And on our door, this is what will change. -30, 30, and -15. So -30, this should be 30, and this should be -15. And then on our rotation, we just have -90. So I'll set this guy to -90, like that. And then for our camera, we'll check that as well. The camera I had at -25, 30, and 155. -25, 30, and 155. -25, 30, 155. And then 90 on the rotation, so we'll set this guy to 90. Oh, whoops, wrong way. 0 on the rotation. So here, we'll set that guy to 0. And I'll go ahead and copy the player location stuff I had as well. So, on the location I had 95, 30, 80. So on player location, I had this at 95, 30, and 80. And on the rotation, I had that all at 0. So that should be good. So let's give that a test real quick with the new new stuff in it. I'm just gonna rotate this guy this way. Try to move it up a bit. There we go. Alright, let's test that. We go in. And yeah, we can look around and it doesn't do that weird snap. It's just a weird location thing, I guess. So yeah, we go in, we interact, and we can look around. But the door doesn't close and all of that. Not yet. So, let's go ahead and get that set up. Do a save here. And, yeah, we'll go to the next part. Alright, so next, we're going to get a sequence. So, in our event graph, after we possess, we're going to grab a sequence here. And we're going to play a sound. So I'm just gonna duplicate this sound over here. Which is gonna be, I'm gonna play a metal door close, because this is gonna be when we close the door. That's what we're doing right here. So let me find metal door. I'll play this one. That one sounds good. That one right there. And the next thing is we're gonna do another timeline. So we're gonna just duplicate this guy. We're gonna play from start. And we're gonna also just grab our set relative rotation and plug this into the update. And here, we went from 0 to -90. So let's try to flip that over here, I believe is what we need to do. So we're gonna go on our 0 right here. We're gonna set a value to -90. And then on our end point, we're gonna set time to 1 and value to 0. So let's just test that real quick. Plug your door angle into your set relative location. Just gonna make sure this is working. We do that. It closes. I'm gonna make that shut a bit faster though. We'll set this to... Go ahead and set this guy the time to 0.5. Try 0.5 on the length. Yeah, feels pretty good to me. Also, something I'm gonna do on our material, so we don't see these holes. I think we can just set that to be two-sided. Go to first person, material, actually, first person models, locker, material, and two-sided. Does that close that up? It kind of helps. Save. Yeah, it closes that hole up. Yeah, perfect. So we can close that material down. And go back to our event graph here. So, next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the control rotation of our camera. So we're gonna get player controller, and we're gonna set control rotation, and we're gonna set that to be our camera. So get this guy. We're gonna get world rotation. Get world rotation. Plug this guy in right here. And plug this guy in. So So basically what we're doing here is we're basically just turning our player around. So we're getting the rotation that our camera is at when we enter it, which will, you know, face our camera or our player the other way, so that when you exit it, you'll come out, you know, facing forward rather than facing the direction that you were when you entered. So that should be good there. And that is it. That is it for entering it. So if we enter it, it'll close. We can interact, or we can't interact yet, but you know, we can look around. And yeah, so now we just have to finish exiting this thing, which is going to be using our interact input action. So we're going to get interact input action interact here. So we can get rid of this guy. And oh, we're also going to call reset. So for our do once here, we need to reset this guy. So I'm going to make a custom event called reset. Let's call it reset blocker. Plug that guy into the reset right there, and we'll pull it down because we'll need it again. So at the end here, we're gonna call what did I call that? On the update. All right, so we'll reset right here, or reset locker. Plug this guy in. Like so. And now we need to do our interact. So let's do that. This guy can go away. Alright, so whenever we actually use our input, our interact input, we're gonna do a do once, so you can press O on your keyboard and click. Plug this guy in. And we'll go ahead and plug our reset. We need a sequence off of this guy. Right here. So press S on your keyboard to get a sequence. We'll plug this guy into that reset. Plug this guy into this reset. And we're going to play a sound, which is just going to be the same sound we played right here. We're also going to set movement mode. So we'll just grab both of these. Do basically the same thing here. Looks like we don't quite set movement mode yet, but I'm just going to move this guy out of the way because we will need that. But we're going to grab a sequence, plug that guy in. And looks like that part is done. So next part. So next thing is we're just going to rotate the door again. So we can literally just copy what we have here, because we're just opening it again. Copy and paste it down here, play from start on the 0. And then we're going to get control rotation. Am I actually using this guy? Let me see if I'm actually using that. Looks like I am. Okay. So this is something we need to do. So we're gonna get control rotation right here. We're getting the control rotation of the pawn that we're in, and we're gonna promote this to a variable called current control rotation. We're gonna call current control rotation. Plug this guy into the sequence here. And then we're going to delay by 0.5 seconds, so add a delay here. 0.5. And then we're going to do a timeline. This one's going to be an alpha though, so we'll just duplicate this timeline here. And we're going to set the length of this to 1. But this is going to go from 0 to 1 instead of 0 to -90. So we'll just set that value to 1 right there. Because this is just going to control the alpha of a lerp. So right here we'll play from start. Let's also rename this float track here. Right click, rename, call this alpha. And then, let me find my next part here. Then we're going to set camera disable to false. So grab our player ref, look for camera disable, set camera disable. We're going to set this to false on the update, right? Yeah, update. So now we can use our player camera again. And we're going to do a whole bunch of mess right here. So we're going to get player controller. We're going to set the control rotation of our player controller to be the control rotation that we set here. That way, because if you don't do this, you'll get like some hard snapping and when exiting. So this is kind of how we deal with that. So yeah, we're going to set control rotation. We're going to plug this guy in right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a lerp rotator. So we're going to right click, we're going to lerp rotator. And our alpha here is going to be the alpha. The A is going to be let's see. Gotta figure out what's coming from what. Alright, so we're gonna get player, we can just duplicate this. And we're gonna get control rotation. And I believe this is gonna be the A here. Then we're gonna pull off of this, we're gonna combine rotators. And we're gonna get player location. And we're gonna get world rotation. Get world rotation. We're gonna pull off of this guy. And we're gonna multiply. So multiply. We're gonna multiply this guy by 100. And we'll set this guy into the B. And then we'll plug this into the B of what we're rotating. And just clean this up a bit. And we could plug this guy into our set control rotation. And we're going to set current control rotation. So update this guy. So we're going to set this guy to be this right here. And then we're going to set the world location of our camera. So grab your camera. We're going to set our, is that world location? Okay. Set world location. Right here. So we're doing this instead of blending it back to our camera because just to kind of avoid some crazy snapping and stuff. So what we're doing here is we're going to rotate it and then we're going to set the location of the camera that is inside of the locker. It'll move to where our player is located. So all the stuff we're doing you know, prior to this where we're setting the control rotation, we're basically just setting up our character to be in the exact position that we want it to be in when we exit. And after we do that, we're going to blend this camera into that position. So we're basically doing, we're manually doing what a set view target with blend kind of does. We're just doing it manually, so to just, you know, just to avoid some weird snapping issues. Alright, so on here, we're gonna get our camera. We're gonna get world location. And we're gonna lerp vector. So lerp vector right here. We can go ahead and plug this guy into new location right here. And the alpha is going to be the alpha from our timeline right here. Same one. Just add a pin to get it out of the way a little bit. And our B here is going to be our player ref first person camera. So we're going to grab our player ref first person camera and get world location. Yes, we're going to get world location. Plug this guy into the B here. And that should be good. So on finished, we also want to do some things. So we want to possess our player character again. We want to set the control rotation of the player controller to be current control rotation that we, you know, set right here. And we want to set movement mode back to walking. We want to set the we're going to set the location of our camera back to its starting position inside the locker, so that when if you use the locker again, it's in the right position. And we're also going to set the rotation back. So yeah. Alright, so first thing is we're going to get player controller. So come back this way. We can move this guy over here because we'll be using this soon. So we're going to get player controller. We're going to possess. In pawn is going to be a player ref. Plug this guy into the finished of our timeline here. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to set control rotation. We're going to set this to the current control rotation. Then we're going to set movement mode back to walking. So pull this guy over here. Be sure to set it back to walking. And then we're going to get our camera. And we're going to set relative location. Set relative location. Plug this guy in. So new location, I have it at -30, 30, and 155, and if you remember, that's what our values here were. Or actually, it's -25 here. -25, 30, 155. We'll just set this guy to -30. Make it the same. Make that set it to -30, and then 30, and then 155. Basically just resetting the camera's position when you exit it. And then we're going to grab our camera again, and we're going to set relative rotation, and all of that's just going to be set back to 0. And then we do something else after this. Let's see. Looks like this is the end. Then we just reset. Okay, so we're just gonna reset locker. Like that. So, it's quite a bit of work, but let's give it a test. So, if we come up to it, we interact with it, we go inside, door closes, you can look around. You can interact with it again, and that did not That did not do what we wanted. So, let's see. So that's on the exit. Let's see where that happened at. My guess is right here. So let's see. Take a look at this. My guess is this is the part that's messed up. So I'm just gonna make some room here and try to get it somewhat clean so we can figure out what in the world is going on here. Move all of this over. So right now I think our combine rotators is wrong. Open the other project to double check. So the A is our get control rotation of player controller, which is correct. But on our combine rotators, the A should be the same thing, get control rotation. Which looks like that is correct. And our B should be the result of our combined rotators, which is correct. Player location, get world rotation multiplied by 100. Oh, let's try this real quick. Let's try shortest path. Okay, yes, that's all it was. So yeah, just be sure to tick shortest path here, otherwise it'll do some wonky crazy things. So let me just clean this guy back up right here. Got a stack of rotation stuff. Dude, I hate rotation stuff. It's so confusing. It took me a while to get this to work. But yeah, it is working now. Obviously, it's not perfect. If you come over here and you interact with it, like on the side, you'll just go through the door and the locker and all kinds of stuff. But it is a solid start. There are definitely some things that you could do. That did not shut. Let's figure out why that's not shutting. So this is on. Yeah, so we're opening it. Then we're delaying. And then we should definitely shut it back. So let's copy our all our stuff here to reshut our door. And we will do that when this is finished. So we'll just do that right here when we finished. Right before we reset locker, and I'll reset locker on finished of this one. Let's test that real quick. Now if we exit, yeah, now it shuts. And obviously you can add your sound to play and stuff right there. But yeah. Like I was saying, it's not perfect, you can come in and kind of come from the side and just go through it and all that. You could definitely clean this up a lot by, kind of doing what we did here with our player location and basically just setting a different, I mean, what you could do, honestly, you could use this player location and before you actually, before you set view target with blend, so right here, before doing this, you could have set, you could set your player to to lerp to this position and then set view target with blend, so that way you're not over here and you're just going straight through it. If y'all want to see a video on that, let me know and I'll make a video on it. But all you would have to do is basically what we're doing at the end here, how we're just setting the player location to the right position. But you would basically do a similar thing. You know, you just set your player position here so that they always go straight through first, rather than, you know, if you're from the side. We may make a video on that. We might just make another video cleaning that up. But yeah, quite a bit of work, but pretty cool. Nice little outlast system here. But yeah, we're gonna call it here for this one. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you're new around here, definitely subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know those down in the comments. If you have any tutorials you would like to see, also let me know those down in the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.